Earthquakes can be described as sudden ground movements caused by the shifting of the Earth's tectonic plates. These plates are part of the Earth's crust, and sometimes they rub against each other and get stuck. When they finally unstick or slip, an earthquake occurs. Earthquakes can lead to significant damage, including the collapse of buildings and other structures. They can also cause other natural disasters like landslides and tsunamis, which we'll learn about later in the video. The energy released during an earthquake is measured on something called the Richter scale. This scale determines how strong the earthquake was. The scale starts at 0, which is so weak that you wouldn't even feel it, and can go up to numbers higher than 9. Each number on the scale means the earthquake is 10 times stronger than the number before it. To give you an example, an earthquake that measures a 3 might make your house creak a little, but one that measured a 6 could break windows and even crack roads. Back in 2004, the Indian Ocean earthquake, also referred to as the Sumatra-Andaman earthquake, measured 9.1 to 9.3 on the Richter scale. It was one of the deadliest natural disasters in history, triggering numerous tsunamis and killing over 230,000 people across 14 countries. The earthquake was so strong it caused waves to reach over 30 meters in height, and not only caused widespread destruction but permanently altered coastal landscapes. Volcanoes are openings in the Earth's surface that can let out hot liquid rock called magma from deep inside the Earth. When magma reaches the surface, it's called lava. Picture a soda bottle being shaken up. The pressure builds up inside until it finally bursts out when you open it. Well, inside a volcano, it's the magma that builds up pressure until it blasts through the Earth's crust. During an eruption, not only does lava come out, but tiny bits of rock and glass, which we call ash, as well as gas and sometimes huge boulders. Volcanic ash can go extremely high into the sky and travel long distances, covering everything like a dirty blanket. Volcanic eruptions can cause local and global effects, including climate change, but they can also create new land. The Hawaiian Islands, for example, were formed by volcanic eruptions under the sea that piled up over millions of years. Volcanic eruptions are powerful natural events that can change landscapes, create new lands, and remind us of the powerful forces that shape our planet. Plus, the soil near volcanoes is very fertile, so after an eruption, plants and vegetation tend to grow very well there. Okay, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or in this case 3 birds. Hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones. They are all categorized as the same thing. The name only differs depending on where the event began. They are called hurricanes when developed over the North Atlantic, Central North Pacific, and Eastern North Pacific. They are called cyclones when they form over the South Pacific and Indian Ocean, and called typhoons when developed in the Northwest Pacific. Now we have that covered, let's just refer to them as storms for the sake of this video. These storms start over warm ocean waters. The warm air from the ocean rises up quickly, and the cooler air rushes in to take its place, which starts to make the wind spin. The Earth's rotation makes the storm spin faster and grow bigger and bigger, pulling in more air and moisture from the ocean. Hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones have very strong winds, heavy rain, and can cause huge waves called storm surges when they hit the land. These storm surges can flood coastal towns and knock down trees, power lines, and even buildings. The center of the storm is called the eye, and it's usually very calm and clear, hence the saying. But don't be fooled, because the most dangerous part is called the eye wall, and it's right around the eye. This is where the winds are the fastest and the rain is the heaviest. Scientists use satellites to watch these storms from space and warn people when they are coming. This gives people time to get ready or move to a safer place, which can save lives and prevent injuries. We all talk about tornadoes, but what are they really? Imagine a giant spinning vacuum cleaner hose stretching down from the sky to the ground, but instead of sucking up dust, it's made of wind and it can pick up cars, trees, and even houses. This is what a tornado looks like. It's a powerful column of spinning air that's connected to both the clouds above and the Earth's surface below. Tornadoes form during big thunderstorms, especially the kind called supercells, which have a lot of spinning energy in them. Warm, moist air near the ground rises quickly and meets the cooler air above. If conditions are just right, this meeting can cause the air to start spinning in a circle. As the air keeps rising, the spin gets tighter and faster, just like when a figure skater pulls their arms in to spin faster, creating a tornado. The center of a tornado is similar to that of hurricanes, cyclones, and typhoons, in the sense that they too have an eye, and the area surrounding it where the air is spinning can be extremely destructive. Tornadoes can have a wind speed of over 300 miles per hour, making them capable of causing a lot of damage in a short amount of time. Tornadoes can happen almost anywhere in the world, but they are most common in a part of the United States called Tornado Alley, which includes states like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska. The conditions for tornadoes to form here are near perfect. The warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico meets the cool, dry air from Canada, especially during the spring and early summer. Tornadoes are rated on a scale called the Enhanced Vegeta scale, which goes from EFO, the weakest, with winds around 65 to 85 miles per hour, to EF5, the strongest, with winds over 200 miles per hour. Even though most tornadoes are on the weaker side, the strong ones can be extremely dangerous. It's difficult for scientists to know exactly when and where a tornado will touch down. That's why it's important to have a plan and know what to do if a tornado is coming. Simply put, a flood happens when water covers land that's usually dry. This can happen for a few reasons, such as heavy rain, overflowing rivers, storm surges, and even dams breaking. Let me explain. If it rains a lot in a short period of time, the ground can't soak up all the water quickly enough. The extra water runs over the ground and can fill streets, homes, and parks. Rivers can only carry so much water. When there's too much rain upstream, or when the snow melts too quickly, the river can overflow and flood the land around it. Sometimes the sea can cause floods too. During a storm, the wind can push a lot of water towards the coast, and if the tide is also high, the water can flood coastal areas. Lastly, imagine if you built a dam in a stream with sticks and mud and then it broke. All the water you were holding back would rush out all at once, right? That can happen on a huge scale if a real dam breaks or overflows. These large floods can ruin crops and damage buildings and roads, causing lots of problems for everyone living in the area. Society has done numerous things to stop flooding, like building levees, which are big, long hills made by people to block water, constructing dams to control when and how much water flows down rivers, and by creating better ways to drain off water from the streets. Scientists and weather forecasters try and tell people when heavy rain is coming so they can get ready to protect their property as best they can and move to a safer place. Droughts occur due to long periods of below average rainfall, leading to a shortage of water. Imagine it's a hot, sunny day and you want to grow a beautiful garden. You plant seeds and wait for them to grow, but there's a problem. It hasn't rained in weeks and your garden is starting to look dry and fad. This is similar to what happens in a drought, but instead of your garden, it's vast areas of land that don't get enough rain for a long time. Droughts are like the opposite to floods. Instead of too much water, there's not enough. They can happen for a few reasons. The most common reason is simply that it doesn't rain enough for a long period of time. Plants, animals, and people all need water to survive, and without rain, things can get pretty tough. Another factor can be high heat. Sometimes, even if there is rain, it can be so hot that the water evaporates faster than it can help the plants or refill the rivers and lakes. Another common reason is humans using too much water. People need water for lots of things like drinking, farming, making products, and in some cases, people use water faster than it can be replaced by the rain, which can also cause a drought. Droughts can be devastating and can have a domino effect. They can make it hard to grow food, leading to less food being available in stores and higher prices. Rivers and lakes can get really low, which affects fish and other animals living in the water. People might have to use less water at home too, taking shorter showers and not watering their lawns. Scientists and farmers work together to grow crops that need less water, and communities can plan how to use water in ways to make sure there's enough for everyone, even when it's dry. Droughts show us how important water is and remind us to take good care of this precious resource. Click here to watch part 2 of the video.